Hi, I'm Jason Horsler at the Hook Road Studio, and this is a little lesson on warming up and stretching before playing the drums. It's not entirely 100% necessary to warm up before you play the drums, but it is a good idea. There are many gigs I get to where I don't warm up, and I find that I'm normally only really starting to get into it after the second song, and you really want to hit the ground running when you're doing a good gig. So warming up will make you ready mentally and physically straight from the get-go, and of course it does help you prevent getting injuries, which as you get older you start feeling them more. So I'm going to give you a few of the exercises that I use to warm up. I use these before gigs sometimes, and I use them before practices if I'm going to have a particularly grueling practice, and these exercises are also really good for you just as a drummer. So let's get started. First of all, it's important to remember that you must warm up before you stretch, not the other way around. Stretching a cold muscle is never a good idea. And then once you have done your warming up and your stretching, you should also do a bit of a shakeout. So I'll give you some ideas for that too. Each exercise should be played slowly. You can gradually build up your speed as you're playing the exercise, but don't try and go too fast or find yourself straining. So the first exercise which I like to work on for warm-up is what I call triplets into fives. So what it does is it just turns triplets into 5-stroke rolls, but 5-stroke rolls in swing time, which actually sounds quite cool. So what you do is you're going to play hand-to-hand triplets with an accent at the beginning of each triplet. So you're going to go right, left, right, left, right, left. You do that for a little while, and then what we're going to do is just diddle middle stroke of each triplet. Right, diddle, left. So it's quite nice to switch back and forth between the two so you don't lose the triplet feel. And then you can start playing around a little combination, because for me a very important aspect of warming up is the mental side of it as well, so getting the creative juices flowing and seeing where you are today in your drumming. The next thing you want to do is maybe diddle the third stroke of the triplet, so you're going to go so. And then you can mix all three of those ingredients up. And then the last step is to turn these into 5-stroke rolls in triplet time. So what you now do is you diddle the last 2 strokes of each triplet. So like that. 1, 2 and 3 and 1, 2 and 3 and then you can build that up into a swing feel 5. But it's not important to go fast, it's important just to play around with it, get your juices flowing. And of course with this kind of thing you're starting to work with your open close technique in order to get those diddles nice. You're lifting your sticks up high for the accents, so you're getting control of your dynamics. Your brain is starting to remember how to lift the sticks up, keep the sticks down for the soft strokes, and you can just go to town with it. You can use the other rudiments for warm-ups, and I know a lot of drummers do that, but I want to give you something a little bit different today. So that's the triplets into the 5-stroke roll. Then to warm up the finger technique, I like to play a thing that's also in 3s, because I think it's quite nice to warm up with a swing or triplet feel anyway. Throughout all these exercises you see most of them have got some sort of triplet structure to them. Is unison pattern. Sorry, this is the linear one. And what we're going to do is we're using our finger technique. We're going to do 3 rights, 3 lefts, 6 rights, 3 lefts, 3 rights, 6 lefts. So it's going to be I'm going to play on the grey surface of my pad so you can hear the difference in the sound. So it's that really gets the fingers going, and try and watch your thumbs, make sure your thumbs are fairly still there, so it's really the fingers that are doing the action. So you can also increase the length of the number of triplets, so you can go and so on and so forth. Then a nice little exercise to get your unison patterns going strong, and also a very good one for the open-close technique. So we've worked the finger technique, now we're looking at the open-close technique, is to do something which I call unison open and closed shuffling. So we're going to go ta, 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 ta. So it's 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and but play that with both sticks together, like this. And try not to get any flams, don't get the... You don't want that, you want them as dead on as possible. And you start off with an idea and then you just develop it from there, because the whole idea of a warm-up is to get the brain working too. Then I have a little exercise I do which I call the paduda drill, and this one is just simply a way of getting my padudas up to speed, because I find them very, very useful. So for those of you not sure what a paduda is, it's 1, 2, 3, right, left, left, or left, right, right. Pa-do-da, pa-do-da. It's kind of like an inside-out Swiss triplet without a flam. So the way I do this is I just count along the hard notes. I do 4, then 3, and then a right, left, right to switch. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, right, left, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Left, right, left, 1. So right, left, left, 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 right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, 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 right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right. And you just keep playing that with a nice gentle speed and building up your speed and maybe your dynamics and stuff. So you don't have to go fast, you just do it for I do each of these things for about 2 or 3 minutes. It really depends on how much time I've got and whether it's going to be really worthwhile for the gig that I'm playing. For example, I don't do much warming up for a little quiet sort of loungy gig. But if I'm doing a rock gig, it does pay to do a warm-up. The next exercise I like to do is a bit of a flam based exercise, just to get the flams up, see how they're working today. With this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 2 strokes to the left, 2 strokes with the right, 3 strokes to the left, 2 strokes to the right, 3 strokes to the left. And that'll give me a bar of 6/8, and then I'm going to invert those stickings. I'll explain better in a second. And the front of each of those groupings, I'm going to put a flam. So without the flams, it's going to be left, left, right, right, left, 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 right, right, left, left, left. The next bar, right, right, left, left, right, 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 left, left, right, right, right. So With the flams it's going to be if I play with a grey bit on this double zoned pad, then you'll hear it a bit better. So I'll just call it out. It's going to be left, left, right, right, left, 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 right, right, left, 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 right, right, left, left, right, 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 left, left, right, right. And that's my flam warm up. I do that for about 2 or 3 minutes. Then the next one is to do with the feet. So I'll move this out the way and just change the camera angle. I think one of the things to remember when you're warming up is to think, what are my feet actually going to be doing, or what are my hands actually going to be doing? So that's why you'll see in my warm up so far I've been thinking about the fact that I'm going to be using the finger technique, the open close technique. In between all those little exercises I've done so far, usually I do a bit of rolling as well, just to start getting the rolling technique together. I don't do this in any formal way. I just sort of run through these little checks as I go, knowing what I'm about to face in the gig. So for example, if I was doing a jazz gig, I would warm up with a bit of just spang-a-lang with my hand. Usually I'll just play along to whatever the house music's doing, and I'll just do that on the rim of the drum if I'm sitting behind my kit, or turn my stick case upside down and just hit my stick case. With the feet, depends on what foot technique you use. So for me, what I do is I bounce on my toes, back down a little bit. So sitting with my snare drum, if I'm at my kit, I'll just take my feet off the pedal so we don't disturb the punters, and I will just bounce on my toes like this. Whether I'm playing double bass or bass drum and a hi-hat, I will just keep running on the spot while the music's playing, along with the house music. It's usually a good one. I will also do things like walking back and forth between my heels and my toes. And then if I'm using my heel down sort of technique, I'll keep my heels down and I'll just tap my toes along to the music. I'm not going to go fast. Remember, this is not an exercise to develop my drumming, it's an exercise to warm my muscles up. Right, so now I've warmed up my hands and my arms and my feet. It's time to look at some stretches, and since I've got the camera on my lovely shoes, I'm going to look at some of the stretches I do for this. So one of the things I will do is I'll just draw circles with my toe like that, really slow. It's important when you're doing warm-ups and stretches not to go fast and not to overextend yourself. Rather just go for big slow motions. You should feel tension, you should never feel pain. It's really the same as all the warm-ups and stretching you did as a kid at school. Another way of warming up is to put your foot against something. An amplifier usually works. And all you do is you put your heel down there and you stretch your toes back. And if you get the angle just right, you should feel your calf muscle being stretched. So I can feel my calf muscle being stretched now, but I don't feel pain, I just feel the tension on the calf muscle. And I'll just do that for a few seconds, and then I'll do the other one. So feel the toes and then just bring it in a little bit further until you can feel the calf, and you just hold it. You do not bounce. It's very important not to bounce. When you see football players bouncing on the field, you know, that whole sort of, where they do that kind of thing, it's because what you're actually seeing is the very end of their warm-up sequence. They've been doing warming up and stretching for quite a long time before the camera actually hits them. So their muscles are really warmed and stretched already. They're really just loosening them up, and plus they're superb athletes, so you don't want to try and follow them. stretches must be slow and held, not bounced. So back up to my face. Right, let's have a look at some stretches for the arms and wrists and hands. So I guess one of the ones that you see most drummers doing is this one where you start with your stick like this and then you twist it like that. And you sort of twist it the other way and you try all sorts of permutations. But you want to go really slowly through this and just feel your wrists being pulled in different angles and your fingers, but don't go fast. Just feel where the limit of your body can go to and hold it there, rather than trying to break into some sort of new territory. Then another one you can do is you hold your hand up in front of your face like this, put your other hand around and hold around underneath your thumb, twist it around like this, and then bring it down towards your body and twist your whole arm like that. And some people are more flexible than others. They can do some pretty freakish things with their bodies, but that's as far as I can go. Hello. And same thing with this hand. Twist it first so it's like that, and then bring it down, and you'll feel tension along your forearm, but not pain. Then there's the one where you're stopping the bus. Bend your arm a little bit over here, grab the fingers at the top, and then straighten your arm out while pulling back on the fingers slightly. That stretches the top part of your palm, and you'll feel some tension underneath your forearm as well. And you hold that for a few seconds. This one as well. Hold that for a few seconds. Then there's a nice sort of martial artsy one that you see people like Jean-Claude Van Damme or Bruce Lee using. You do this thing in front of your face like this. Pull it down onto your chest, keeping your hands together until you feel a bit of tension. Like that. And then you turn it around like this and pull up until you feel tension. And you just hold it. Alright, then we've now started to flex our arms and get our arms moving. Another one I forgot about was you hold your sticks out in front of you like that, and you lift them all the way that way as far as they'll go, and then down as far as they'll go, and you hold each of those poses for a few seconds as well. Alright, now what other parts of our body do we use when we're drumming? Well, the other thing is the shoulder. So with the shoulder, what you want to do is punch your arm that way and then hold it like this, supporting it, and then just pull gradually until you feel a bit of tension in your shoulder blades. And repeat on the other side. Punch first, hold, and then pull across. Can you see how my forearm is touching my elbow? And that actually is where the force is coming from, not so much my hands. Right, then another one I forgot to show you is how you can stretch out your wrist, your palm of your hand. Hold your hand like that, grab your thumb and pull down gradually on your thumb until you feel some stretching across your palm. Don't go too harsh on this one. You get some girls who can bring their thumb all the way down to their arm. It's pretty sick. And you can try on other sort of motions. Think how your wrists move, and just twist them to the full extent where it doesn't feel pain anymore. Oh, where you don't feel pain but you feel tension. If in doubt, leave it out. Alright. Then one of the worst problems among us drummers is back problems and neck problems. So you also maybe want to start looking at how you can solve those problems before they become serious. Most problems with drummers are to do with the neck and the lower back. I know in particular I have a bad lower back, but that's because I lift things I shouldn't be lifting and I don't use my knees. So one of the things I do, which really helps, is I twist my spine. So what I do, put your hand over here, lean back and twist yourself around as far as you can go until your shoulder's pointing forward over your opposite knee. And you hold that pose while looking straight ahead. And twist your spine totally. And then same thing from this side. Gotta say, it feels great. You also work on your core strength as well. If you are having problems with your back, things like push-ups and, I mean not push-ups, crunches, not sit-ups, crunches, to build up your core strength. The muscles you have at the front actually help support the back at the back. And things like your neck as well. All those exercises you did at school, you know, the ones where you had to roll your head slowly, all of this is good. But to be honest, all of these stretches are stopgaps. What you really need to do is make sure you're sitting properly on your drums, because that's how you're going to prevent problems in the long run. And finally, after all these warm-ups, you need to do some shakeouts. So one of the shakeouts that many drummers do is the one-hand clapping thing. Just shaking your wrists. That's the fingers, then the wrists like this, and like that. Don't let your audience see you doing this. And then quite a cool one is what I call windmilling. You hold your stick in the middle, your two sticks in the middle like that. Start with the stick horizontal, twist it all the way until it's horizontal again and back. So it's going through 180 degrees, and then gradually build up your speed until you can hear the sticks. Same thing with this one. And then, just as a sort of mental cool down, that's where it's good to have a pair of brushes, and if you can get onto the stage without the audience seeing, if it's got a curtain or something, or if you just sit behind the stack of amplifiers and you just have a pair of brushes, whatever the house music is playing or the band that's going up before you, try and do a jazz pattern along to that. This really helps. I just play Spang-a-Lang on my ride to Lady Gaga. It's amazing what you can actually fit the Spang-a-Lang pattern onto, and that just gets you cooled down and gets your mind focused on listening to the music and responding to the music. And the fact is that the brushes are so soft and you can't even hear them, so it's really a mental activity that won't distract the audience and will get you really set up for the gig. So I hope this has helped, and give the stuff a try, and you'll see you'll hit the ground running. Your very first song of the evening, you'll be strong from the moment you hit the first beat, and everybody will just love it. Make a good impression, and please subscribe, and I'll see you soon with my next video. Cheers.